I'm Thomas, and today I will be reviewing the Cooler Master MM710 gaming mouse. I bought this mouse with my own money, and it is not a sponsored review. I was drawn to this mouse for a few reasons. First, it's a small mouse. Second, it's shockingly light. And third, it has an excellent sensor. Fourth, it has a great price. And fifth, it is critically acclaimed. But it has a few issues that may keep you from buying it. So without further ado, let's dive in. Let's get nerdy. This mouse comes in at a shockingly light 53 grams. The only lighter mouse that I am aware of that doesn't come with a ridiculous design is the Final Mouse Ultralight 2 at 47 grams. But this guy comes with a better sensor, costs 3 times less, and has a warranty you can use, which is a win-win for everyone. This lightweight design is accompanied by utilizing a small form factor, honeycomb ABS design, and removing RGB lighting. The honeycomb design reduces hyperhidrosis of the hand, aka sweaty hand, due to increased airflow and provides better grip as you have something to latch onto, but at the cost of reduced structural integrity. There is a mild amount of flex upon squeezing, and if you squeeze hard enough, you can actuate the side buttons, but this is par for the course regarding this type of design, so I'm not worried. The paint on this mouse isn't the best, and due to the flex in the shell and overall weight, it makes the mouse feel cheap. It also looks like a golf ball, and if you were to tee it up like one and swing for the hills, I think you'd end up with a million pieces instead of a hole in one. For those of you worried about getting sweat, drinks, drool, or more sticky material, wing sauce, guys, wing sauce. Inside your mouse, you don't have to worry, as they sprayed the PCBA with a dust and water resistant coating. The left, right, and side buttons are not treated with this material as it interferes with performance, so you'll still want to avoid liquids the best you can. It comes equipped with one of my favorite sensors, the PixArt PMW3389. I wish more mainstream mice came equipped with this guy, as the PMW3360 is out of date. Talking raw specs, the mouse tracking is rated at 400 inches per second with 50G acceleration and a DPI range of 100 to 16,000. You can adjust it in 100 DPI increments. Normally for this sensor you can adjust in 50 DPI increments, but Cooler Master opted out of that for some reason, as that portion comes down to their software. Pulling rate is 1000 Hz and left-off distance is 2 millimeters or less and can be adjusted manually in the software. Resolution accuracy is 99%. It's considered a flawless sensor. I would rank it above the PMW3360 as it feels snappier and is beaten spec-wise. I would tie it with the Hero sensor as specs are very similar and it feels very similar. However, it is beaten both in feel and in specs by the PixArt 3390, aka Razer's 5G optical sensor and Focus Plus sensor from my testing. With all of that said, the differences between sensors here is minimal, akin to the difference between 144 Hz and 240 Hz, as it is more something you subconsciously feel instead of consciously see, and at the end of the day, you shouldn't be choosing a mouse based entirely on the sensor, but instead prioritizing shape, size, and weight, as they are far more important and should be considered first. So let's talk about the performance for this particular mouse. For some odd reason, and this is not only a complaint I have, but others have mentioned as well, is that the DPI is incorrect on this mouse. This is due to the software/firmware that Cooler Master chose over an issue with the sensor itself. To explain further, when compared directly to my other mice at 800 DPI, it is off by about 50 to 75 DPI. This isn't a huge deal, but at the same time, this shouldn't be an issue at all in today's era of mice. Otherwise, I haven't had any issues with it, and I straight shred with it. Moving on to the build quality, it comes in 4 different colors: matte black, matte white, glossy black, and glossy white. Though most of those colors are difficult to find and aren't always available, the glossy material usually adds 1 gram of weight, picks up more fingerprints, and is a bit more slippery due to the paint over its matte counterparts, but also usually looks and feels higher class. The matte black paint feels good, and I don't have concerns of it flaking off, but it is cheap appearing, and I found other matte colorings to be more visually appealing. It officially supports all grip styles, which include claw, palm, and fingertip, or a hybrid of all of the above. However, I would argue, and due to the size of this mouse, that it's more a claw and fingertip mouse over a palm mouse. If your hands are small, then yes, palm grip will be fine. As hand size grows, the least likely that becomes reasonable. I believe they included all 3 because it has a large hump on the back that you can cup with your palm. Personally, I find this mouse shape to be excellent and very comfortable, as the hump on the back fits into my palm nicely for added support when needed. My hand size is 19 by 10 centimeters, and I use predominantly fingertip grip with a smidge of claw mixed in. In other words, I'm mixed gripped, The mouse tapers on the sides and bottom to help your fingers be in more comfortable position and gives it something to help lift. Out of all the mice that I've tried, I would rank this in the top 3 in the sense of shape. It comes with their version of a paracord dubbed Ultra Weave that is 1.8 meters in length, which translated to English means that the cable is made from a very lightweight, flexible material to be able to bend easily to make your mouse appear wireless. This one is great, losing only to Glorious's Ascended cord, but beating Final Mouse's Phantom cord and Razer's SpeedFlex cable. It comes with 6 switches, which include left and right click, center click, DPI button, and 2 side buttons. The DPI button comes pre-installed with 7 levels: 400, 800, 1200, which is the default, 1600, 3200, 6400, and 16,000. The switches have a moderate amount of pre/post travel before actuating and requires a mild/moderate amount of pressure to click with a moderate amount of swing back force. This leads to a nice crisp click, but doesn't feel as responsive due to the travel feeling a bit long. I wish it was a bit shorter, as I think most would enjoy that, and it would also make it feel more snappier and premium. The side buttons are slightly strange as they are small and not in the ideal position for my hand, but that will vary based on your grip style. It comes with Omron mechanical switches, which are rated for 20 million key presses, which means they are susceptible to double clicks. However, I did not see this complaint at all in any of the reviews that I read. Moving on to the scroll wheel, it has very defined steps and requires a moderate amount of pressure to actuate and is very crisp. I find it to be very accurate and I haven't had any issues. I'd rate the scroll wheel as excellent. It comes with greater than 95% PTFE feet. I'm curious as to why they chose 95% over 100%, as most of the other companies are now coming stock with 100% pure virgin PTFE feet. With that said, they slide well and the newer batches include rounded edges, so you've got everything you need from that standpoint. I looked at a total of 549 reviews and 448 of them were positive and 101 were negative. That turns into an 81% being positive and 19% being negative, which is not really the best statistics when it comes to mice. Please check the description for all the specific defects and the percentages that I found. The main complaints focused on the clicks and the sensor. The click issue mostly regarded mouse 1 and mouse 2 issues such as side wobble, long pre/post travel, and creaky/mushy clicks. This was supposed to have been fixed, as Cooler Master reports that the original design allowed for larger tolerances for the plastic work and tightened those tolerances, which makes this happen less often. However, it does still appear to be a slight issue, as I still think the tolerances could be tightened a bit more, as I think the clicks still do not feel as snappy as I and I think others would ideally want due to that longer travel, and the side effects of that are those issues that I just mentioned. The other main issues include having incorrect look sensitivity that I discussed earlier, the cursor bouncing around, or it just plain on dying. Regarding the incorrect look sensitivity and cursor bouncing around, this comes down to the software/firmware. I say hopefully we will get a fix, but at this point and time, this mouse has been on the market for a while, so I don't see that happening. It plain dying could be attributed to the cord itself, as this is a common issue found on Glorious mice and was secondary to the way it was shipped in the box and the massive bend. But I also think with these cords being so flexible that they pull away from the original housing, causing them to disconnect or have issues. I have noticed with mine that when I first turn on my computer that my mouse won't register, which means I need to unplug it and then plug it back in. Not a big issue, but also not something that I should have to do at all. I do want to stress that these defects are affecting at most about 3.2% of units, so it shouldn't be something that you worry too much about, but since this is a review, I wanted to mention them, as it does lower the overall score I would give to this mouse, as it has a lot more issues than most other mice on the market. So moving on to the conclusion, overall I am a fan of this mouse and I like it a lot, as it is shockingly light, comes with an amazing shape, has a great sensor, and feels snappier than the 3360. The clicks itself are crisp, but with the moderate pre/post travel, they can feel a bit mushy. Add that to the average matte paint, flex in the shell, incorrect DPI, disconnection issues, and lightweight design, and the mouse can come across as cheap and not worth the $50 price tag. With it being a small mouse, it limits users to using claw/fingertip grip, as palm will only work with those that have small hands. All of this leaves me on the fence as to whether or not to recommend it. The 3 main points to choose a mouse these days are shape, size, and weight, which I think it nails. It also comes with a great sensor, but the sensor firmware has some issues, so for me I think it's a pass, as I think other mice that are currently on the market are better and deserve your money more, such as the Viper Mini, the Viper, the Glorious Model O, or the Glorious Model O minus, to name a few. Which isn't to say that this isn't a bad mouse and that you won't enjoy it, because I think you would, but the choices come down to you and your preferences. And you should always choose the mouse that checks the most amount of boxes for you and your preferences. Amazon associate links for all the mice that I mentioned in this review, along with any reviews of those mice that I have done, will be listed in the description below. I do earn a small commission on anything bought through those links, and you should only use it if you want to. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a dislike. And of course, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this, and turn on that bell notification so you know when I upload a new review. I will see you and your beautiful face on the next one. God bless and peace out.